You are listening to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 right up to 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans.
Looking for something new in sci-fi or fantasy? Check out what Brandon Sanderson, Orson Scott Card, Nnedi Okorafor, and others chose as the best news stories of the year in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. From 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. Yes, it is that time of year again. There's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, UFO Undercover, in the category of entertainment. UFO Undercover brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and get out and vote now.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The Outer Realm in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which boasts millions of listeners each week who are well known for and have been complimented on their very laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, esoteric, and other areas of high strangeness, and more. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Outer Realm in the category Best Female Hosted Podcast. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, Writers and Illustrators of the Future Podcast, in 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. For 4 years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard to help the aspiring writer and artist no matter their age. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in any or all of the 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and go out and vote now.
Hey there. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The News on the Flip Side, in the category of politics and news. News on the Flip Side is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate News on the Flip Side in the category of politics and news. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
You heard it, man. Do it now. Get your ass out there and vote. I told y'all this last 2 years. I want to win, so if not, you're going to have to hear. Did I lie? Did you not have to hear me bitch all last year about why didn't we win? Oh, runner-up's great. Special honors great. Bullshit. I want to win. Okay? Look, people, I'm not like everybody else in the world. I don't need to be patted on the head. It's fine. I didn't win. I'm a big enough boy. I've been, I did a lot of things in my life, so I can lose some. But whatever, Jack. Special, yeah, that's great. You notice I didn't put no trophies back there. I didn't buy no trophies because we won. No. I want to win. And I don't just want to win. I want I got all this room back here, all these books. Boom! I want something big going right here. Go vote. I mean, we came real close last year. We always make it through the first round, which is really nice. And I do appreciate it, guys, that you get us through. 5 million people voted last year, and we made it to round 2, which is a handful of shows. And then we got special mention and special honors and all kind of wonderful stuff. But really, again, before we go on the show, and we have a great person with us now. Wulf is great. We're going to get that in a minute. Go vote. Y'all ever watch YouTube and the guy who says he's going to make the thing crawl across your face? I know every one of your IP addresses, okay? You better go damn vote. I'm just warning you at a time. You better go vote. Tonight's guest is Wulf Moon. Wulf is like a character out of a book to me. So when I go to Writers of the Future, I go for the last 4 years. I look at all these people, John and Emily, the whole bunch is it's like a book to me. It's like going and opening up a book and reading the book. So I see all these different characters. You couldn't have this book without Wulf. I'm just saying, man. Wulf is. I haven't met anybody didn't like the guy to start off with, which is rare. I mean, come on, think of the world we live in. And I talk to a lot of people. I have a big mouth. Wulf contested this, and I talk to a lot of people. The guy is really well liked. Everybody wants to get to know him. I imagine sometimes his life can get a little complicated because, him and the Wolf Pack, which I love this, by the way, and I love the different people I've met that are in this, are just fabulous. And what I mean by this, if you're good, and I mean good, if you're a good author and you're out there really banging it away, and you can go over to writersofthefuture.com and might get lucky and get Wolf's attention. I'm telling you, I can't say he can get you the trophy, but I can tell you this: if you spend some time with him, your odds went way to blank up. That's all I can tell you. Wolf, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, pleasure to be here, Joe. Good to see you again. I was actually there the very first time you were at Writers of the Future. Yep. That was my winning year. So wonderful to see you again. I get to see you every year when I go there. So it's really nice.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And you're just a great character. And, this year, because one, you're like a few people I know, myself included. We just kind of stand out in a crowd, regardless of what we're doing. I mean, it's not an intentional thing. It's just who we are. And it draws attention and people want to talk to you or people want to gravitate around you and stuff like that. And, I notice a lot of these, especially these young authors. Well, let me refrain from the young word. I still have a problem with this after 4 seasons of this. I still want to say young. By the way, guys, so y'all know this, the average age for someone winning as an author is somewhere mid-30s, maybe close to somewhere between 35 and 40, I would say. This is only based on the 4 years that I've been there. But I got a bad habit of saying young. Well, I guess to me they are young, but still.
They're new writers. Doesn't mean they're young.
Yeah. So, there's a couple of 60, 70-year-olds guys over there and a couple of 50s. And well, Jackie, I never really noticed. Now you're going to make me think about it. Maybe, you might be right. I think there might be more female illustrators and more male authors. But I'd actually have to go sit down and look through it to be totally honest. It's a good question. You know what? We'll call John Goodwin live and say, John, what do you think? He's down in Tampa. He'll cuss all of us. He's down here with Dan Ford doing TampaCon, I guess is what it's called. Y'all, if you're in Tampa, go down and see the man. He's a blast to hang out with. Oh, no, I drive him crazy. That's my job. See, his wife, Emily, slips me chocolate to make him crazy. Well, my friend, the woman who runs my station, Michelle DeRoche, and her co-host live in Canada, and they slip it down to Emily, who's from Canada, and then she slips it to me for harassing her husband. Yes, not just kidding. We do swap chocolate around, though. That truth part is true, but the other part's not. No, Wulf is great. If y'all can get to meet him, and so Wulf, so I'm an inspiring writer. I want to get out. I need some help. I know I can write, but I'm not talking about me, people. I know I can write, and I've read through the site. I've gone through the course. What's the next thing, man? I mean, should I get involved in the chat groups over there or the message boards, or should I get with another group? Because for me, this is different. I get to meet y'all after the fact, so I get to meet the people, how they came around, but coming into this, I wouldn't even begin to know how to. Even though now I've got 22,500 words written, I wouldn't even begin to know how to get into somewhere to learn how to write. First off, I might even feel a little shy about it, to be honest with you. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, most writers, when I say new writers, they've actually been writing for years. David Farland, when he was with us, he was the former coordinating judge of the contest. And he would say, once you really start focusing on writing, it'd take you 7 to 8 years minimum before you would actually break in with a professional sale. That's working at it really hard. For me, I had my first pro sale when I was 15. I won the National Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. That's like Writers of the Future for high school kids across the country. So, and it was with a science fiction story. So that was really cool on the energy crisis. Had a story about that. So I got started early. I won a bunch of contests then. Life happened. I had hit some struggles, ended up in the hospital, left writing for a long time, 10 years, and finally got back to it. And the Nebula Awards were in town in Eugene, Oregon, and I met Dean Wesley Smith, who's now one of the judges in the contest. He was the very first guy to walk across the Writers of the Future stage. And so I went there to try to start up, and he looked at me and goes, "You're from Eugene?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, that's cool." He said, "How come I've never met you?" I said, "Because I'm just getting started again." He said, "Do you have any sales?" And I said, "Well, yeah, when I was a kid, I had this sale to Science World. How many copies? What'd you get paid? 500,000 copies an issue." He goes, "That's a pro sale. You're a published writer." And he took me around through the whole introduced me to every famous writer you can imagine. Saying, "Have you met Wulf Moon? He's a published writer. Have you met Wulf Moon? He's a published writer." I was so red-faced after that. But then I realized having a professional sale must really mean something, because it meant so much to Dean, and he was taking me around like that. And Dean's the one that told me about Writers of the Future. He was the first guy to walk across the stage. And of course, then he introduced me to a writing group, Wordos, and Chris Rush was a member of that. Nina Creaky Hoffman, a bunch of others that are now not only established careers that had won the contest, but they're now judges of the contest. So fast forward now to through all that time, I sold to Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I had other sales, but winning Writers of the Future was the hardest thing I've ever tried to do. And that's because everybody entering that, while there's thousands that enter every quarter, at the very top, they're all just outside of pro. I mean, they actually have made pro sales, most of them, that are winning it. And so they're right there, and you're competing against people that are just about to break out with their careers. And not always, but almost always, they've had good sales already. So that's why learning the skills and getting up to par is really going to help. So I actually spent 25 years trying to win that contest. I quit entering everything else so I wouldn't get disqualified, because I knew I could win it. And I just kept sending stories. And when I committed to entering every quarter, so that's what you have to do, commit to every quarter and to write a fresh story every time. And I wrote outside of the box. Anything crazy I could do, anything I wasn't comfortable with, I pushed it and wrote in those areas. And once I did that, it took me 4 years. I won the contest. Once I committed every quarter, fresh story, it took me 4 years to win, because I was learning my craft then to the degree you need to be at to be a professional and win. So that's what I'd recommend. Enter every quarter, write fresh stories, because that's where you grow and learn. Editing the same story over and over again is a writer trap. Many do that. And that's all they do, is they become really good editors and really poor writers, because they don't progress to writing something new. And that's where we learn how to write, is when we're writing new stories. And of course, once I won the contest, I turned around and started helping people, and I was made a moderator of the Writers of the Future Forum. So of course, join that. Everybody in there is trying to figure out how to win the contest, and they're sharing every tip and secret they know to win, to help one another. It's a very positive, upbuilding group. And then of course, they made, so I made a workshop in there to help people once I won. It's like, I know a lot of stuff now after trying so hard to win, and I wanted to help people. I actually helped them too much. I was helping so many people win. I wasn't working on my writing anymore. I was just giving my free time to edit their stories and help them all. So after a couple of years of that, my wife said, "You got to stop this. You have to take care of your career. That's why you won this contest, so you can move on with your career." And I said, okay. I just felt like, I know what it's like to have that struggle, Joe. It's really hard for new writers and aspiring writers, we should call them. And there's stuff that you learn along the way that if you could just pass that on to people in a clear, easy way, they could get past a lot of the hurdles that are holding them back. And aspiring writers can't see it. They need somebody to show it to them. So we're blind to our own mistakes. So we think we're writing well, but there's usually something that we're screwing up. And we can't see it ourselves because we're blind to our own mistakes. So having somebody to point it out really helps. So the Writers of the Future online workshop will help a lot because that's all these pro writers, Orson Scott Card, David Farland, the late David Farland, he's teaching in there. Tim Powers, one of the greatest writers of our time, is in there teaching how to write. So studying that's going to help a person figure out how to compose a story. But fine-tuning it and getting it so it'll actually reach the top and compete against the other top writers, you're going to need to actually focus on more things. Every single thing has to be working in the story in order for it to not just reach the top, but win. So,
and ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get feedback a lot of times from these judges. Pay attention to it. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, when you hit semifinalist level, so there's 8 finalists, and out of that, the 3 winners are chosen, but there's also 8 semifinalists or so, and you get a critique from the coordinating judge when you hit semifinalists. So they can see you almost made it. So they'll actually critique your story and tell you, here's what you're blind to that we saw that you didn't. Had this been fixed, it would have risen up. So I actually got one of those from David Farland. And he said, Moon, on the level of world building alone, this story is probably greater than all the other stories that won put together. He said, but you got to learn to kill your darlings. So I like big, beautiful prose. And he said, you got to cut that out. So I also had a mermaid in there, and he goes, what's with the breast imagery? We want
to put a lay in there. Hey, man, it's my book. It's my book.
So he said, you got to cut that out too. It's like
now, Echo would not have fun with that.
So anyway, so good points that I didn't realize. These are very sensitive issues to some people. So for the contest, and you have to remember the contest, which a lot of writers don't realize either, that they're keying it towards middle grade up. Yeah. And so people are writing very adult stories with maybe very adult themes and things that as an adult, certain language might even be acceptable, but for middle grade up, no way. And so that'll get you cut right out of the contest. And fortunately now they have returned with comments, RWC. So you at least be able to figure out, my language was too strong. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, what's that? No, Kimberly, PG-13 is what I always tell everybody. Yeah. It's so what's nice about this, and you can see him sitting there's this year's current winner back there, and I'll pull it out in a minute. This is, by the way, Wulf Moon, so we're going to talk about this in a little while. And this is actually Lazarus Black book back there. Soon Wulf will have a book back there because I know he's got a new one coming out, so there'll be one of his back there. But anyway, that's everybody who I talk to has a book goes back there, and it stays back there until they get me something else, or that one happens to get given away for some reason. Unless it's autographed, then it don't get given away. It goes in my own personal bookshelves. People, hey, there are some advantages to being able to talk to these people. I just got to say. So first, before you get any further, I want y'all to know when you see Wulf in person or when you see him speaking, he's very energetic. Yes, one of the things I like about him, he projects very well. He's not going to be mumbling. He's going to be talking to you. And he reminds me of somebody else at this place named Echo. He's not scared to give you outright advice. Well, some of the judges are a little softer on their advice. And what I mean by this, don't take this out of character, people. I just mean if they see something, he's going to say, hey, maybe you should do this. There's not going to be 5 pass to the point. He's just going to make the point and move on. That's all I was trying to say. Well, Echo Turner, if you don't know Echo is one of the illustrator judges over there. And she's the same way. She's very fair, very kind, great person to hang out with. But, she's there to teach y'all. And she just said, hey, and she's not going to spend all day teaching one person, by the way. I just want to tell you. But and y'all shouldn't expect that from these guys. Wulf's got a lot of people that want his attention. He's already got a crowd he deals with. And all you can do is hope to get into that Wulf pack. That's all I'm saying. So what can we slip you like chocolate, man? Can we chocolate?
Well, it's pretty easy. In the old days, so when like I said, for the first couple of years, I just held the workshop inside the Writers of the Future Forum. And I do an open call at the start of the contest here. Whoever wants to be in the workshop, just sign up. But you got to commit to writing a fresh story every quarter. That was the thing, because I saw everybody just rewriting old stories over and over and over. It's like, no, we got to stop this. If you want to win, you got to write fresh stories.
Yeah.
And so they would commit to that, and they would join the workshop. And then I started setting. After the first year, I realized everybody was only sending their stories to Writers of the Future, nowhere else, because it's safe. It's anonymous. Your name isn't on it, and if it gets rejected, they don't know who you are. So people that are more shy, which a lot of writers are, they're like, at least they didn't know I wrote that piece of garbage. And it's not a piece of garbage, but you feel like that when it gets rejected. And actually, it didn't hit certain markers, so it didn't move on. So anyway, so the second year I said, not only do you have to send a story into Writers of the Future every quarter, you have to write a fresh story and send it out to other markets as well, respectable markets where you could actually make sales and build your reputation. Yeah. And so that was the next thing I had the group do. And then I got asked to teach at some conventions, and found out lots of people, all my workshops that I was teaching started selling out. I mean, immediately, full boat. Every spot would sell. Sold out. And so then I started charging for workshops, because I can't just spend all my time doing this.
You got to do it. If it's going to be your living, that's how you have to be.
And that's what my wife was on me about. She's like, look, you're helping all these people. That's great. And that's my philosophy. It's like, well, what do I know that I can help others who are just behind me with? All of us can do that. But it's taking all of your time that you need to build your career and take care of our family. And so she made a good point. She said, you have a responsibility to take care of me.
That's true. No, that's true.
Well, I had to rethink that. I mean, it's good to pay it forward, but not if you're not moving forward too.
Yeah, so. That's true. No, that's very true. And people forget that sometimes. When I first got into all this, we used to make everything free. And my wife, but I own a construction company, which sometimes makes a lot of money, and sometimes you're like, oh, am I going to starve? But regardless, the station didn't have to make money. But as I get older, now it has to. I tell my hosts all the time, y'all want to get rich, y'all got to give me free time to go out and make money. I said, because if I'm doing construction all the time, I'm not working on the radio station.
Yeah.
What is that, Ginger?
Your question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, she was just asking where was the workshop? How would she join, and where is it at? That's all she was asking.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you can read the workshop. There's over 840,000 views of people that have viewed Wulf Moon Super Secrets. That's at writersofthefuture.com. And then go to the forum, Writers of the Future forum. So if you go there and then look up Wulf Moon Super Secrets Challenge and Workshop, and you can actually see the 4 years that I ran it in there. You can see every post we made as I gave tips. And there's a hyperlinked opening page, just like a book, that you click on it, and my super secrets will come up to help writers. So that's all free. So you can get all that information that's going to be in my books that are coming out for free there if you want. It's just going to be packaged better in my nice book that's coming out. But to actually take a workshop with me now and to get in the Wolf Pack, I just did a Kickstarter that ended in January. The Kickstarter did $21,000 for my very first Kickstarter, so 330 backers. So yeah, I was really happy. Generated after that, in people buying recordings and other things, another $15,000. So like $36,000 for my first Kickstarter is what.
That's good. So. No, Janine, Kickstarter, it's really, really pretty much for us, the authors and illustrators. Really not, and it's not like what you're thinking. No, you can't just go over there and do that. No, I'm sorry, it's not like that. Yeah. I asked one time myself, I was like, what can I go put over there? I want to make some money. But
no. You actually. So Kickstarter is a way to crowdfund to produce something. So like my Kickstarter was to produce this book, How to Write a Howling Good Story. So that's what my Kickstarter was. But through it, I also sold my workshops. So, and when people take a master class, which they did it through the Kickstarter, I give them an invitation. It's $100 to take one of my master classes. And when they take the master class, I invite them to join my Wolf Pack Writers Group, and that's free. It's one thing to help tell people, here's how to do something. But, we were talking about fishing, Joe, and you can tell somebody, well, there's where the fish are at, and here's a fishing pole. And you put this bait on it, and that's where you cast. But really, if you want to really help them, you got to stay with them. And you got to say, all right, now here's how you set the hook. Wait, it's nibbling. It's got it. Set the hook. Wham. And that's how you teach people, not just telling them how to do it, but actually showing them. So I did the Wolfpack Writers Group to keep helping them. And the effect of that has been, because I stick with them and not just tell them how to do it, but I check on them and help make sure they're doing it. They, like, over a dozen writers have now won Writers of the Future in the last 4 years. You got to remember from the Super Secrets and the Wolfpack, and you got to remember, and there's more that write to me and say they studied what I did, and that's how they won. So not that they didn't do the work, but they used the Super Secrets to help them fine tune their work, and that's how they won. So when you think about, this is a contest with.
By the way, before we go any further, by the way, I'm getting ready to use this because, like I told Wolf at the beginning of the show, I'm at 22,500 words. So when I get through all of this, there he goes. He got it over there. When I get it through all of it, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this. Actually, I've already kind of been through some of it because it's got some pretty good stuff in it. Because, for me, I don't know how to explain it to y'all. It's a little different for me because I'm not an author and a writer. And I'm not really trying to be. This is just something I got into. One night I was channeling L. Ron Hubbard, I guess, and wrote like 15,000 words out of it. I was in LA, and I was upstairs in a room, and I had a long day. I'd already been through most of the stuff about my business I was doing there, press work. And I was just sitting there, and I was hyped up. I was wired up. So I got in front of him. I had my laptop put on my lap, and I was going to surf. And I said, hey, I got this idea. I started clicking. Next thing I knew, it was like 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, what is going on here? And I said, well, we got enough of this. But so every time I go up there, it seems like I can plump out 10 or 15,000. I told Emily, at this rate, in 8 years, the book will be finished. Well, it's about an 11-day experience my wife and I had. And it's just a lot. It takes now that I understand what writing is, I shouldn't say it that way because I really don't. But now that I understand different aspects of writing, it's been easier for me. Like, I never understood filler, for lack of a better word. The stuff like I'm walking down the street, looking at the pretty. I just never understood that. And then I forgot who I was listening to. It was one of the classes I was listening. I'm like, son of a bitch, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
For people, I'm not there for the classes. I'm there for the press, and I just get the benefit. I'm really lucky in this case. I've sat through all their classes now, both in the illustrators and the publishers in the 4 years I've been there. And you learn a lot. Even by default, you learn a lot. Just to put this in perspective, think about this, people. Y'all know I make fun of myself all the time. I can't write. I can't draw. It's stigma. Just knowing this, I took the course. The only thing I didn't finish was the story, which Emily still gives me trouble about. And, but I've learned a lot. And so for someone who has experience, it's actually is writing, man, I cannot understand. This has got to be fabulous for y'all. I mean, it's got to be just, especially meeting someone like Wolf and also getting to meet the gang over at Writers of the Future, meeting all the other winners. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and it's a lot. And I like watching the winners every year. I like watching the reveals. I mean, it's just a lot of good stuff there, a lot of good-hearted people there. And I watch how it changes some of these people, because you got to remember, I do interviews with these people. We do continuous interviews with them, thanks to Carmen. And we bring them on to different shows and stuff like that. So we're keeping up with the previous winners as well as the current winners. Well, it's so people can know how they're doing and what you're doing. And I tell all the winners, when you get something new or you need some advertisement or anything, or if you just want to come on so you can make a video so you got something on YouTube, just give me a call. We'll set you up. Or give Carmen a call. Either way, Denise, Carmen. No, you wouldn't know Carmen unless you have one, is all I can say. It's the only way you're going to meet Carmen. Well,
he's a pure guy.
Yeah. He's lurch, man. The guy's like 9 foot tall. I'm just telling you. When you meet him.
And a good guitar player.
Yeah, he is a damn. I was picking on him. I was talking to him. Was it today? I told him. I said, John said you have to come on the show with me on Friday night and talk about music all night. He's like, he didn't say that. I just talked to him. I said, yeah, no, he told me that just a little while ago. He said, well, I talked to him a little while ago. I said, no, I talked to him since you talked to him. And he said, yeah, I'm going to call him and tell him he needs to come on.
Good. And have him bring his guitar.
Well, I told him that because, by accident, I was looking for something he had on one of his pages. I didn't realize it, and I hit one of his Facebook pages, and he had so much about music on there. So I'm like, oh, wait, I got to talk to this guy. Well, people, when we're there, it's all work. I mean, it's not all work, but it's all writers of the future. Yeah.
You're moving the whole, they pack everything in so that, I mean, even after you come back from dinner, you're back in classes, trying to get, well, it's because they flew in all of the big people in the industry to teach everybody. And so they stuff your brain, and they know you can't filter it all right there, but later on you will, and different things will resonate with different people. But it's really the secret why so many people that have won that contest have actually gone on to have professional careers, because they bring in all the people that know what they're doing and have them show you how to do it. So they actually give you a kind of like, it's a career boot camp is what it is. How to do marketing, how to promote your work, how to do signings, how to not make mistakes with your career so that you wipe it out by doing something stupid. So really they lay it all out for you with the very best in the industry. So you're on your best foot forward after that once you win the contest. So you not only get the spotlight on you, but you get the knowledge, and that's what's important. That week-long workshop gives you knowledge by the best in the industry. So.
Plus, on a couple of those days, there'll be lots of friendly media. Oh, yeah, and I'm not just talking about myself. There's a buttload of media comes out. Well, this year we had a lot of Asian media out because of some of the winners, but no, the year before they did too. There's just a lot. It's Los Angeles. It's a lot of media in Los Angeles, and a lot of it shows up. And plus, it's broadcasted live on their YouTube channel and our YouTube channel. This year, it'll be broadcast live on Roku television. So if you get a Roku television, you'll be able to watch it that way. No, I'm not going to charge for it. You know what? Now that you said that, let me think about it. No, I wouldn't charge y'all. I would charge
show up too. Joe, have you noticed that there's celebrities that show up too? Like the lady that handed me my award. She's on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's from Good Housewives and a whole bunch of different soap operas, and she's actually on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She has a star there. So because they get PR too, is with all the cameras around. It's good for them to show up at the event too. It's good for their career. So it's good for the new writer because they're getting pictures taken with all these famous people, and it's good for them because all PR like that is good PR. So all really good.
Well, what was it? I met the guy who replaced him. Oh, now I can't think of his name. Amber Turd's husband. What's his damn name? Anyway, he was on 21 Jump Street. I met him while we were there. He was an interesting guy. I met two generals and an admiral there, which was interesting. I met a couple movie stars. Of course, we met Bart Simpson was there. Bart Simpson was, no, that kid, Bart Simpson was there. Trust me, go listen. Don't watch, just listen, and you'll see Bart Simpson was there. And then we had, what's his name with all of the voices he does? He just did Book 39 for everybody.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking.
He was just on, guys. John, go look. And he was on like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, well, in this industry, it's weird. You don't know who's superstar, who's not a superstar. It doesn't really matter when you're on the show anyway. We don't care. We treat everybody the same way. It's pretty much how it is. You mean Dean? That's who he was talking about in the beginning. No, Dean has got like 100 billion books.
Dean Smith, you're talking about.
Yeah, Dean West Anderson. He's just. Yes, no, I'm not kidding you. The man is like a book machine. I don't know how he does. I've asked him 100 times too. He just ignores me. But
he's one of the most prolific writers. He's right up at the top with the top writers. He was a fixer for many publishing companies when they would have an famous author not show up with their book on time and the presses needed to run. They'd ask him over a weekend to pop out a book for him, and he'd ghostwrite it. So
he was like insane the way he wrote. I mean, people. He's got a lot of books. He's also he does his own publishing and everything. He's the whole package. He does everything himself. Yeah.
So to finish answering your question earlier, so how you get in the Wulf Pack, if you take one of my master classes, and I have recordings now because I recorded everything from the Kickstarter. So if you take one of those, then I give you an invite into the Wulf Pack, and that's where you get additional help. Plus, all of the Wulf Pack has a whole bunch of writers of the future winners in it because they worked within it to become winners. So they're helping other writers. We all pay it forward. This is what I teach. This is what I did. They know that this is how they got there. So they turn around and help other people in the Wolf Pack to advance too. So they're critiquing their work, showing how to apply the different secrets, which are just writing principles. And that's how everybody is moving forward. So like this year, we're at half of the year now in the judging for Writers of Future Volume 40. 3 of the 6 winners are Wolf Pack members. So half the winners right now are from the Wolf Pack. And this is because we work to help one another to get it down. So you can have 90% right, but you got to have 100% right to win the contest, because you're competing against thousands from around the world, and many of those at the top are about to break out. So to do that fine tuning and getting that other 10% that you might be missing is essential if you're going to not only rise to the top, but actually take the win. So that's where I'm helping people with additional help. So the forum, Writers Future Forum, is great. Everybody in there is working together. And then I have my own group too that I'm working with that hear about me.
Yeah, well, you need to. I mean, it takes, people don't realize how much time these kind of things can consume in a person's life. And especially if you have it, somebody asked me one time, do I do radio for money? No, I don't. But I got into it more because I run another organization that needed a venue to put information out. So that's how I got started originally. Now it does all kind of stuff. But people like you are just out there helping them. Oh, no, Jack, I'm sorry. Just because he was a past winner and he knows people at Writers Future, that did not help them people win. He helped those people win. Okay, I said that wrong. But anyway, himself and what he taught them helped him win. He has no pull with the winners. Everything's blind judged. So they're going to be selected, and then they're going to be sent to the judges. They get a number. That's all they get is a number. That's all the judges get, and they're going to read it. And then, you either win or you don't. And
that's the fairest judging system you can ever have, because, like you said, when you send a story in, your name has to be scrubbed off. If they see your name anywhere on the manuscript, it's rejected immediately. Yep. Like that, boom. So nobody knows who you are, and nobody knows. Once the coordinating judge says these are the ones I like, which she picks 8 for that, then she sends it off to another group. They're totally anonymous that nobody knows, and those 4 judges then pick the winners. And so it's even taken out of her hands, the coordinating judge, so that you have a 2 double check system that it's totally anonymous. Yeah, but those 4 judges are some of the top in the industry, so they know writing really well. So the stories you end up with in the Writers of Future volumes are always top quality, because those judges are Brandon Sanderson, Tim Powers, so Jay Anderson. These are those. So the writing's good. So what I do is just teach. I'm a coach. I help people to look. I look at their writing and say, you need to work on this. And then they have to go work on that. That's their job. But it's just like with the Olympics. Who do you want to have help you to win the Olympics? Somebody that's never won the Olympics, another skater that maybe has never competed anywhere, or someone that won it that can say, all right, you've got to do a triple Lutz like this. Get back in there, and I want to see that triple Lutz. Come on, no, tighter. That's what you need. So the Olympics know that, and this is the Olympics of writing. This is the largest talent search for speculative fiction writers in the world, and they spend over $30,000 on each winner. So it's not just the prize money, it's not just the award, it's not just the week in Hollywood, but it's everything that they do to help you succeed by flying in all these top writers to help you, and top career people to help you and guide you with your career. So this is why this contest helps writers like Patrick Rothfuss, like David Farland. He was a winner in it. Dean Wesley Smith. It's what this contest does to promote and help you learn about what a career should be as a writer, that so many of these writers have broken out with careers. So anyway, it's worth every effort. I believe that. I believed I could win it. I had plenty of proof in my life. But if you don't have that proof, you can get that proof by working with a group that's dedicated in helping you and giving you the belief that you need until you get the belief yourself. And working your way up with respectable sales is a way that I help writers to build that belief and faith. Because once you're holding a book with your story in it, like this is my latest, once you're holding that, it's reality. you are a writer. You've got a book just like other writers. And then when you start signing, you're signing that book to others. When you start being in one of the biggest fantasy and science fiction anthologies in the world, you believe. and that belief determines reality. So you got to get that from somewhere, somehow. And a good writing group will help you do that. So yeah.
It's like any career. I mean, you got to build confidence if you're going to ever get out there and get in the world. What are you talking about? Granada. I'm sorry. Hey, look, you said Granada. Where the hell are you from, Granada? If you spoke out loud, would I understand your language? Would I recognize your language? Where are you from? Really? Where are you from? Something about your typing makes me think you're putting your vowels ahead of your. It just makes me think you're from somewhere else. Where are you from? Doc, come on, really, tell us where you're from. We got a worldwide audience. We don't. I'm just, we always ask everybody when they make a comment, where are they from? Where are you from? Come on. You're not going to say, are you? Okay, it'd be like that. Israel. Well, we do have a big audience in Israel, so I'm not going to deny it. We do have a big audience there. Well, nice to have you over there. Yes, you can get in Wulf's class. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. This is the world of the internet, people.
Yeah.
Now, live time, it might make a difference, but so I'll tell you a little secret. Some of my friends in the Asian world and the Australian world do. They because they're a day ahead, but they can be still around the same time here, just one day ahead. So they take advantage of that. Yeah, well, they go to a class on the same time it would be in America, just in their country. It just happens to be Thursday instead of Wednesday. That's all. Yes, it's time traveling. People, get over it. It's part of living on planet Earth. Wulf is a nice guy. He really is.
Well, the other thing we do, Joe, is the Wulf Pack. I'll set goals for the group. So, because Writers of the Future is a great goal, but there's only 3 slots every quarter, so it's good to have other goals in writing too. So while you're waiting for that ship to come in, you're making your career as well along the way. So I'll set challenges for what I call respectable anthologies. They're maybe off the radar of some of the big giant, like Asimov's magazine is going to be pretty hard for a new writer to get into. It can happen, but it's harder because all the big guys are competing for those slots. But some other ones that still pay pro rate, anthology and stuff, I'll set goals for the group to submit stories to those. And since I've started doing that, I started doing that last year. This is our 3rd anthology now that we have had over half. They're just open call, just like all the other magazines and anthologies, but they'll say, send us stories on this subject. So I'll target my team, my Wulf Pack, and I'll say, all right, Wulf Pack, that's our prey. We're going for that. That's our prey. We're going to take it down. So I want you to write stories on this, and I want everybody to work on their openings. We have this spot where we post our openings to help check one another, make sure it's got a good hook in it. Our endings, we do these, like, it's like sparring in a tournament to make sure it's as tight as it can be, and then we all submit stories to that. And so far, like, it's either 3 or 4 now that we have been half of the stories accepted in the anthology, and they might have like 800 submissions, and half of them are Wulf Pack in the table of contents. So it works what we're doing. But yeah, it's focused writing, focused on certain themes and challenges, and then I give them prompts every single week that they can work on, called my KYD prompts, Kill Your Darling prompts. And I'll give them prompts, and they spar in that, and they have to write things around that theme. And when they do that, it trains them when anthologies open up and say, we want mermaids in space stories. Well, my guys have been working on that. The Wulf Pack's been working on that continuously in all these weird different angles. So their minds are set, and they know how to just launch and go into that. And yeah, so we're actually training for battle. Because of that, that's why so many, when they began with the Wulf Pack, they're unpublished. And now many of them have careers. Many of them, several that are now editors at the pro magazines. So, and of course, like I know for a fact, at least a dozen have won Writers of the Future. You've heard them say that from the stage, that they're thankful for the help. So it works. So, but again, it's like, we're working together as a team. So, and it helps when you're working with somebody. And you got the cutest dog there. What's your dog's name?
Say, I'm Lola. So for her, when I do a 2-hour show, she comes in about mid-show for some reason. I don't know. She just knows. She comes in, says hi. Usually it's on a commercial break. So she's like, hello, everybody. She is 6 pounds, people. And she's a freaking demon. Anyway, she said she wants to be in a wolf pack. That's why she's coming in. She said, well, I'm part wolf. She said, Dad's writing.
Maybe wolf cub.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Cub of a wolf cub. She's teeny little. My other one's hiding out right now. She's a little bigger. But what's that? Where are you from? Oh, New York City. Yeah, how are you doing up there in New York? Yeah, I've been up there a lot lately. Yes, we all love New York. No, I didn't snicker. No, I did not snicker. No, I did not. I'm sorry. That was my dog. She did that. What do you got for us? You mean for Writers of the Future? Yeah, you can submit 4 times a year. There's a first place winner, and then I don't know how they do second and third, but there's a first place winner every quarter.
First, second, and third every quarter.
Yeah, so yes.
$1,000 for first winner, $750 for second place winner, $500 for third place winner, plus publication money at 8 cents a word right now, plus an expense paid trip to Hollywood. They fly out from anywhere in the world, hotel, most of your meals, not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah, they take really good care of you. Well, people can't expect them to pay for everything. I mean, you need to buy your own tuxedo or rent your own tux. That's fair. As far as food goes, food's expensive at these hotels. So, what do you mean? Do they pay my food? Oh, no, I always buy my own food. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But no, they give everybody a budget. Actually, they're really good at what they do. I enjoy myself. Sometimes I eat on them. Sometimes it just depends what's going on. And sometimes I'll buy everybody dinner or lunch. It's just, I'll tell y'all something. This is a secret. So if you win, you'll have this secret ahead of time. Most of the judges and even some of the people who are there, because it's not always, I mean, they got all these judges there too, but there's other people who show up, past winners, runner-ups, stuff like that. They also are there as well. So a lot of times the judges, all the judges pretty much, say, well, I'm going to dinner. Y'all want to come hang out? They're not going to buy your dinner, but you can come talk at dinner with everybody. And of course, there's always bar con. It depends on what hotel it is, but it's always bar con. And in the evening times, everybody will be sitting around having a cocktail or having a Coke or tea. I was drinking iced tea most of this trip. Yes. Do you believe the Lowe's Hotel did not know what the iced tea was? I had to go teach the guy how to make it. I'm not kidding y'all. I told him, look, dude, I'm going to be here for 9 days. We got to have iced tea all day, man. I'm sorry. I'm from the South.
Right, yeah, you got to have iced tea.
Well, somebody always thinks, somebody goes, you always got Coke. No, listen, it's iced tea. It just looks like Coke. Actually, it's pretty strong here. But what's that, Jackie? Yeah. Oh, you mean this? I'll have to. It's not what you think. So I can jack into my computer, and it's like a backdrop. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I move too far back, it would static. I know. Well, I use it for when I'm traveling and stuff like that, and it makes it easier. So what? No, Wolf just told you. Oh, no. Writersoffuture.com. It's galaxypress.com if you want to buy something. Yeah. So you want to do what with who? Oh, okay. Hey, Dolly, how you doing? So yeah, but that wasn't Wolf, but he can do the same thing. So keeps asking about props. Regina keeps asking about props, and I was confused at first because I can't remember the lady's name that was there this year who gave you the little cube and the little she gave you the little dice and the little whatever prop thing or something. He's talking about he's just putting you in the right direction. Well, I asked him. So she wants to know, what were you talking about when you said props? Like physical props and she just confused me with this question.
I don't know what she means by props. So
I don't either. You mean like giving props to a person?
Prompts. PROMP.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? My bad. It is probably prompts.
Okay. So every week in the writers, so I developed the super secrets inside my writing tips inside of Writers of Future Forum. So every week, so even though I'm still a moderator over there. Still like to welcome the new people, but I've got a whole group of my own that I have to care for now. So, but I still go over there every week in the Writers of the Future forum, and I put a Monday prompt. Every Monday, I put a writing prompt in there. So you can go over to my Wulf Moon Super Secrets inside of Writers of the Future forum, and that's my continuing to try to direct people to the forum by doing that. Go into the forum. You'll find help in there, and then I also have a writing prompt for you. And those are geared as prompts to help you actually write stories for Writers of the Future. And people have won Writers of the Future using those prompts. They've told me that. And the Mike Resnick Memorial Award, which is another new writer contest. Look that one up, Mike Resnick Memorial Award. And that's all new writers. You can't have any pro sales in that one. So in Writers of the Future, you can have no more than 3 professionally published stories. So actually, the competition's a little higher in Writers of the Future. So also think about the Mike Resnick Memorial Award, that you can have no published, professionally published stories. You can't have earned more than $50. So there's 2 great contests to help aspiring writers to get established and known. And that's the hardest thing for aspiring writers, is to get seen, to get known. That's why these contests exist, because they shine a spotlight on you. And when that spotlight's on you, people see you. And that's when your career can be elevated, because then they go look at your work. And when they read your work and see your skills, then you can get other work, and it starts elevating your career. So, and that's the other reason why all those great writers are brought in that week, because you're rubbing elbows with them. Well, a lot of them, like Kevin J. Anderson, have their own publishing companies. So if you got a novel that is ready to be submitted somewhere, and you just won Writers of the Future, and here's Kevin J. Anderson, and you're sitting with him at BarCon, or he's going out to eat and says, "Come on and join us, winners." You can actually mention, "Oh, I have a novel, Kevin, and it's right up your alley. It would fit really well with WordFire," and you might actually get a contract that way. Interesting thing, I have a friend named Sheen Powell, and this was before I won the contest. And she said she was writing a novel. I said, "Sheen, if I were you, I would beg, borrow, or steal to get the money to take one of David Farland's novel workshops." And she did. And he liked her writing so much as she was submitting the exercises inside of it. And David's gone now, but he was a judge of Writers of the Future, the coordinating judge. He liked it so much, he developed a program, the David Farland Discovery Program, and he promoted her novel, and he took her over to Kevin J. Anderson's WordFire Press, and her very first novel was through WordFire Press. So she'd never won the contest, but she made the contact necessary, because I pointed her in the right direction, and her writing was at a level that she got spotted by the judge of the contest, and then he helped make things happen. Well, that's what happens when you can get to these kind of events, or take courses with people that know what they're doing, because it can actually change your whole life, instead of writing and beating your head against the wall, which happens for so many new writers. And the sad thing for so many new writers is that if you don't get any signs, you can quit just because it's so hard to break in. But when you have support and help, and realize others around you are breaking in, that's another secret with my Wolfpack group, is that you see someone rise up through the ranks that was unpublished, like David Hankins in volume 39, totally unpublished when he began. And then he took my KYD, Kill Your Darlings masterclass, and he wrote a story in that class, and I read it. He read it out loud to us, and I said, that story is going to get published. And he was totally unpublished at that point. And he sold it to DreamForge. He expanded and sold to DreamForge magazine. And then he won Writers of the Future after that. So he's in the current volume 39 that actually is in the background there of Joe's office. And now he's had, like, in the last year, 8 professional sales, and his career is totally launched. He's about to do a Kickstarter for his first novel. So things happen as you work with other writers that know what they're doing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So instead of writing alone and bang your head against the wall, and that could be very hard emotionally on a person, if you can find a good group that's building and focused on your same goals, it's going to really fortify your belief in yourself. and they're all working forward, trying to get published. So it's going to help you to get published too. All right, I've talked a lot, Joe. Your turn.
I just listened. Wait, let's see. I seen something go by a minute ago. Oh no, he's not kidding. I mean, they want you. If you know, first off, to answer the first question, I'm going to answer that. No, you have to win to go. Yes. Or you don't have to actually win, but you have to be invited to go. How's that? Unless you're a famous Hollywood person, and you might get to come. But other than that, no. Usually you got to win to go. So what about it? No, again, just write or like I seen what's the name up there posting the why he's an illustrator. You can submit your artwork. You got to submit. You can't win if you don't submit. And as it stands right now, AI is forbidden from the contest. Yes. I've talked with John about this several times in the last year, and it is forbidden from the contest. Yes, whether it's artwork or whether it's a book, it's forbidden from the contest.
With the Wolf Pack, you need to be exercising your own mind. Somebody mentioned that they were having it do the work for them, and I was like, all right, if I ever hear this again, they'll be removed from this group, because you have to exercise your own mind. You have to submit your own work. Unfortunately, AI doesn't have any parameters on stealing from copyrighted works of other authors. So it's just learn your skills. You will be so well served by it, because you will develop your voice. And that's the thing people don't get. You're not competing against anybody else. You are getting to a level where your voice shines through your skill and your abilities so greatly that you are the only person that can make that product. And so when people get a taste for that product, you are the only source. So AI is copying every source. So it's not going to help you. But when you develop your skills and your voice, you're going to have such a unique brand, because we are all such unique individuals, that no one will be able to take that from you. And then that's where your career will take off at that point. So, and you'll start building a fan base, because they can't get that anywhere else. So they will come to you for that product, and that product is what you create.
It is. It's well, people, it's not just for that, for writing, it's that for everything, really. I mean, wait, what was that? Sorry. Y'all getting weird with the chats. I see. This is one of the reasons I kind of miss phone calls, because I just hit the button and let you loose. Yo, hello, Moon. How are you doing tonight? Plus, you know the rule. Especially if you're my messenger, you have to put where you're from. No, I don't need your address or anything like that. I just like to know city and country. Well, like this one's from. Well, she's from. Where is she from? I just seen it go by a minute ago. I was going to say Tibet. Sorry. No, my brain's fried. Don't just ignore that. No, Toronto. I'm sorry. The brain's going. No, she was from Toronto, and she said she submitted many times to write his future, but she hadn't won. But she does not have any plans of not some. She still has plans on submitting. It's hey guys, I mean, you're not going to win if you don't submit. So, matter of fact, a friend of ours, Dolly Saffron's in the room. She's a friend of another friend of ours, Preston Dennett. He submitted a few times over the years. All I can tell you is if it's important, keep submitting until you win. It's 4 times a year. A lot of people, I not very many first-time winners I've met on authors. On illustrators, I've met a few first-time winners, but authors, not as many. Most of them somewhere 14, 15, 16 up in there. But I've known people go over 50 and like I said, a few in the beginning. It's really up to your storytelling, isn't it? It's not up to the judges. It's up to your storytelling.
Well, like I was telling you, Joe, so I've been submitting for 25 years, but I'm a novelist at heart. I like writing very descriptive worlds and prose, and I had to learn in short stories you can't do that, but nobody was telling me that. So it wasn't until David Farland, when I hit semifinalists, that he wrote back to me, the coordinating judge, and said, world building alone, your story was probably better than all the other winners put together, but you've got to learn to kill your darlings. And that put me on the track of what I needed to work on. And so once I knew what I needed to work on, everything changed for me. So that's the thing. If you can figure out what's your hang up, a lot of times, especially we've been writing for a while, there's something that's holding our writing back that we can't see. But if you had a professional look at it, they could tell you. So the ways you can do that is try to make semifinalists, and then you'll get told, like I did. Or you can work with a writing group that has professional writers in it, and maybe they have the skill of being able to explain what you need to do. Not all do, by the way. Or you can get an editor that knows, that's actually done what you've done, and they can tell you how they got there. So, like I said, that's the Olympics approach, where the team will always hire somebody that won the Olympics to train the others because they know how to get there. So
hey, that's what it takes. I mean, you want to win, you want to get ahead, then it's always best to have somebody who's done it before. At least they have the idea or a plan on how you're going to get there. It doesn't matter what it is, what kind of business it is. It doesn't matter, people.
Yeah, I mean, you can stumble into a mentor, and then that's awesome if that happens. If your friend, one of the winners, Brandon Sanderson's writing group, and her husband actually had won the Nebula Award. So that's going to help. But usually we don't have those kind of contacts in our everyday lives. So then you have to figure out other ways to get that help you need. So, I mean, that's the old way of growing in any career. In the old days, in the medieval days, a master took on an apprentice and they taught them their secrets. That's how it worked. And you learned blacksmithing that way. You learned weaving that way. All of these skills, armory, all of that was learned, master apprentice. And it's the best way to learn because the person teaching you actually knows how to do it. So many groups, they don't have anybody that knows how to do it. They're trying to figure it out. And you can level up that way. It just takes longer because you're all learning together. But a better way is if you have people in that group. Like I was in the Wordos group with Dean Wesley Smith and Nina Creaky Hoffman. And that's how I made myself to Star Trek Strange New Worlds, because you level up around people like that. Yeah. So now I'm a Star Trek author. I'm in the canon. So it's because of those contacts, because of the people that you rub elbows with, that some of that rubs off on you, because they actually take the time to tell you how you can get to the next level. So
yes, it makes a difference. Oh, y'all don't even start because you wrote Star Trek. Oh my God, I forgot how many Star Trek fans we got listening to this show. Jesus, Marion. No, we're not going to sit here and ask Star Trek questions all night. No, just stop. Get back to what we were talking about.
Well, that was a new writer contest too. It was Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I think they did 9 or 10 issues of it through Paramount and Pocket Books. Dean Wesley Smith was the editor of it. And so and the rules were very similar to Writers of the Future, because Dean was a Writers of the Future winner. So there was another way that writers could break in and have a professional sale. And my story was called Seventh Heaven. It's in Star Trek Strange New Worlds 2. And it's a Borg love story. What could be sweeter?
Next thing we know, you'll be on TV, man. I have to keep my eye on you.
You know what's cool? I guess I can't say this. I wish I could. But there is somebody that is very famous and saw the super secrets by just doing an internet search. And this person has said, your book that you're writing, which is How to Write a Howling Good Story, which is what the Kickstarter, this should have it finished by the end of this next week. This person said, your book is going to help so many people because you are teaching the things that we do, but we have no names for it. And so she was saying, for screenwriters too, this is going to be so beneficial for them because we do these things, but we don't have names for it. And so it's just intuitively doing it. Whereas if you actually know a thing, you can control a thing. So that's what you
can pass on a thing too.
Yeah, exactly. So you wonder why people studying the super secrets are winning. Well, they actually understand how stories work and what the foundation stones are. They actually know how to place them in their stories. And it makes all the difference when you know what the principles of writing are, because you'll get it in your piece. And that piece then will rise above others because it's actually got everything that's supposed to be there that judges are looking for. So anyway, but it was when we talked Trek, I can't say the name or anything.
Don't get yourself in trouble now, man.
Yeah, but it was really cool. It was really cool. So we went to lunch when I was there in Hollywood. or breakfast, I guess.
What's that, Janine? Actually, I was supposed to be there for a couple more days, but I'm back home, and nothing I can talk about. Sorry. it's I'm sorry. All classified stuff. It's no, I was supposed to be there until Friday, but anyway, it's nothing I can talk about. Sorry. Anyway, and we're not here to talk about me anyway. What's that? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Come on, man. Wait. You know, dude, you might get copyrighted name. You might get in trouble there, buddy, using that guy's name. You want to know the slam dunk of writing a book? It's right behind me, right here. Hey, you asked, I gave you an answer. There it is, right there.
These are articles that I wrote. I write a series for writing for DreamForge magazine. The guy that made this DreamForge magazine, he actually is a Writers of the Future winner from volume 6. And I support them with their Kickstarter and stuff. They support me with publishing the super secrets to help other writers. It's just been a great thing. And so what's cool is that they did all these illustrations for each one of the, I don't know if you can see that. I'll say I did a robot theme. So there's a robot that takes you through all the lessons. And then Jane Noel is the illustrator. And so she'll put that robot into each one of the different articles that I've written. Like this one, How Driving to the Story Creates Accidents. And you see the robot, he's driving a little car through the city. So it keeps a theme going through it, so it makes it fun. And that's what I try to do with all of my classes and with my articles. Just make it fun, because if it's fun and if it makes you laugh, you remember it and you like it. And it's not like work then. So that's another.
I got to say, somebody asked me one time when I got out of the Navy, because I had several degrees when I got out, and including my bachelor's in science, and they said, "Why did you become a contractor?" I said, "Because it was fun. I enjoyed creating with my hands." I said, "I'm not an artist and I'm not an illustrator, but you know what? I'm a good contractor and I can build a lot of crap." So it's and we do a lot of emergency work too for hurricanes, stuff like that, floods, fires. But yeah, but that was the reason I got into it, because I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it today. Not as much as I used to, but still. Radio's fun. Radio can be a headache, but radio is fun too. Yes. Well, you got to remember, people, we're not just on radio. We're on Roku television right now. So people are looking at Wulf. They got the zoom out, zooming in, seeing what kind of books he's got back there. I can already tell you what they're doing. They do it all the time. They tell me what I got back here all the time. If you're on Roku, especially if you're on a big TV, you can see all kind of wonderful stuff that you don't wish you wouldn't see. Where is that at? Oh, it's on the other side of me. Sorry, you can't see it. Oh yeah, you can. Hold on. Maybe I can turn it. Give me a second. There it is, right there. That's the one you were whining about. Yes. Okay, you've seen it.
That'll feel different.
Yes, you've seen it. That's a Frank Frazetta numbered sign posted. None of y'all ever getting your fingers on since he passed. You can hang it up. I get more requests to put that up for auction. They're like, "Joe, you should auction." I'm not auctioning it off. Get off of it. Yeah. I'm actually in the middle of trying to talk Sarah into giving me one of the other ones. She's tough, man. She don't give nothing away. I'm telling y'all, man, she is one hell of a sales girl. You got a saleswoman, excuse me. I'm going to call a girl. I might get hit. She's mean. Yeah, she's only this tall. I mean, I'm not kidding. She's like this tall. And she is like Speedy Gonzalez when it comes to selling stuff. She's
she's good. She's super sweet too. So
yes, that's an act. That super sweetness. But I'm just telling you,
that's real.
I met her husband too. Oh my God, yeah, Jason. He's hilarious. The whole bunch of them are just nice people. They really are.
Yeah.
I haven't influenced. Y'all have to remember, they gave me complete access to everybody. So when I hear judges this or judges that, or someone writes to me, "Oh, it can't be blind judge. They got to be some funky monkey." I said, "No." I've talked to all the judges. He's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I've talked to all the judges." I said, "I've talked to the judges. I've talked to the winners. I've talked to the losers." I said, "I've talked to everybody. I've talked to the staff from Galaxy Press and Author Services."
The thing is, Kevin J. Anderson's one of the top paid writers in the country. He's always on the top 100 list. He's part of the Dune movies right now. He's a consultant for the Dune movies. He's written a bunch of sequels with Brian Herbert Frank Herbert's son. So, and he's one of the judges in this contest, is there every year teaching. You've got Brandon Sanderson, one of the biggest names in fantasy, the biggest name, I would say. And he's one of the judges in the contest. They would never be a part of something that wasn't above board and doing it right, because it would wreck their careers. So they actually recognize how much good this contest has done and want to be a part of it because of that. So what a lot of writers don't realize is in the big magazines, why it's so hard to get published is the ones that have already made it, their names will sell those magazines. So they want the editors and publishers, while they want to find new writers, they've got to sell magazines. And it's hard selling magazines. You lose a lot of money making publications. And so they need those big names because they bring their fans that will go buy that publication. So even with anthologies, they're often filled with New York Times best-selling authors, and then they have maybe 3 or 4 slots for everybody else to try to get into that anthology. So you have a really hard time as a new writer breaking in because your name won't sell books. Your name won't sell magazines. And so that's what the beauty of the new writer contest, like Writers of the Future, is that it provides a way for you to be seen. And also to meet all these other writers that already are seen so that they might be able to give you a hand and get you into places too. So, but you got to get there by sending your stories in and leveling up in your writing. So the first thing you write probably isn't going to win the contest because you got to learn your skills because there are other people who are working it just like an Olympic athlete to win the Olympics. And so it can't be that you're just talking about writing. You're actually working like a champion in order to be a champion. But then when you win this contest, it shines a light on you that you can't get anywhere else. And it goes out worldwide in their best-selling anthology. So that's what it does. And then my story really got...
Where's 37? I just seen it. Oh, there it is right there. All right, I knew it was up there. Oh, I'm sorry, 35.
Yeah, this was the first one you were at, Joe. This was when you were first invited because I got to meet you there. And my winning story was Super Duper Moon Girl and the Amazing Moon Dawdler. And that story, I had over 100 people write to me telling me how much it moved them. And then I also got it published, like reprinted a couple months later in Future Science Fiction Digest. And then I got to do the narration for that, which was really nice. And then it also won Best Science Fiction and Fantasy Story of 2019 for the year. And that's in an International Critters Reader's Choice Awards. Over 2,000 people vote in that. So you get exposure from this contest. And that exposure can help make more things happen for you. And that's why so many actually, once they win the contest, go on to do even greater things. So build careers. So that's where Patrick Rothfuss came from, by the way. So
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to find any fault with what they're doing over there. I mean, I talk to a lot of people over there. It really is just hard to find any fault with what's going on.
L. Ron Hubbard knew that at the magazines, it worked like this, that all the big names sucked all the air out of the room. So those big trees took all the oxygen. So little saplings could never be seen. And so the brilliant thing that this contest was set up to do was to actually create its own best-selling book that would just publish new writers so that they could get some oxygen, get some visibility, and instead of being saplings, they could actually be seen by the community and actually be able to grow. So it just gives them some space so that they can actually have that opportunity that isn't out there normally. So.
This is the one he's talking about right here from this year. This is my color is off for some reason. It's a great book. It's a lot of interesting stuff in it. A lot of great pictures. And no, this is not going to. I'm not giving this one away. It's got too many autographs in it. But you can. Yeah, this is the one with the one about the about the Grim Reaper and the tax collector guy. Yeah, it's in here.
Yeah, so that's David Hankins.
Yeah,
he's a work fact. So he's the one that I said was unpublished when he began in my writing group. And he won the contest with his story. So, and actually that winner was from a KY, the lady that asked about prompts. That was a KYD prompt in my, I just post them every week inside of the Writers of Future forum. He took one and ran with it, and his winner, Death and the Taxman right there, his winner is from doing a KYD prompt in the Writers of the Future forum that I have under Wulf Moon Super Secrets workshop.
This was a funny story, people. Y'all need to read it. It was hilarious. This one on the other side, this was a pretty good story too. This is one of the girls who I met, April, who did the dragons. Matter of fact, I had her and Larry Elmore on just recently. We done started dragon off, man. We're gonna have a little dragon war. We're gonna invite everybody to get 2 dragons and have one at one time, do a dragon. What do you mean?
Yes, to the airport with
Larry's great.
So I got to spend like an hour with Larry Elmore in the car asking questions about dragons, D&D.
He's a creator of D&D.
In the late 70s, I used to go to Gen Con at Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and compete in the D&D tournaments. And and actually got to watch Gary Gygax conduct the championship. When we were one round away from winning the championship, we would have had Gary Gygax as our DM. Unfortunately, we were trapped in an ice cavern, and you get these little things to help you out. You don't know which is going to work. I had a fireball scroll, and we could not figure out how to get out of this ice cavern. Finally said, I'm going to launch it. My guy said, no. Our team said, no. I go, we've got no other results, and time's running out. And so I launched a fireball, melted the ice cavern. We all drowned, and we're wiped out of going to the final round with Gary Gygax. So I've never lived that down, but I did learn a life lesson. Never launch a fireball in an ice cavern. I will never forget that.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, if you wouldn't have, time would have ran, it would have still been the same effect. So, I mean, you got it. There's one thing about life. You got to crack a few eggs every once in a while.
Yeah, you learn from.
That's right. Well, sometimes you come out with omelet, and sometimes you come out with some nasty eggs. It's just how it is. What's that, Carla? Yeah, no, D&D. Larry Elmore, D&D. Larry can out-talk anybody I've ever met, myself included. And he has got stories like y'all wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
can sit there and listen to him all night.
He trained Keith Parkinson.
Yeah, he's just. What do you mean? No, he's D&D. He's the D&D guy, man. What are you talking about? There is no D&D. What the hell are you talking about? Oh man, no. See, I don't know enough about D&D because when I was young and wanted to play it, I was in private school. And my mom was like, "I'll break your neck," and I'm like, "Mom, I want to play Dungeons." No, you're not playing none of them kind of games. And she thought they were like evil, possessed by demons or some shit. And what can I tell you? She's crazy.
Creative fantasy is what it was. So she was out big time.
She was one of them. You had to learn one huge word a week, one new parent. She's just, I had a great education. I could have been a writer. I just don't have the talent to write. What can I tell you? It's not what you think it is, people. Look, anybody can try to write, but not everybody can write. And I don't want to be mean to anybody, but some of y'all should just not try to write. Okay, it's as politely as I can tell y'all, because I've read a lot of crap over the years. We were making fun of this. I had an illustrator on just recently, and we were making fun of this because, sometimes you'll, look at the cover of a book and buy the book based on the cover. Now, sometimes that's a good thing. Like on this particular book, it would be a good thing. On some books, the cover is badass, and you get in a book and you're like, oh my God, this was the waste of how much ever money you spent on it that you could have wasted. So that's why, the old saying, don't judge a book by a cover. That's where they came from.
That's the unfortunate thing. I mean, it's great that independent writing exists now because that's some way people bypass what I talked about, the big trees taking up all the air in the room. But unfortunately, some are using that to actually get published without learning their craft. And so they buy the fancy cover, they get, a nice blurb from somebody. But when you read the writing, it's obvious that they didn't work on their craft. And that shows. And so, they'll sell one book with that fancy cover, but they won't build any fan base off of it. It's all over once they see that their writing is boring.
You got it. Well, actually, no, there is a story that goes with the cover. Yes. Kevin J. Anderson wrote it, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, he did.
And so that's an extra story in there. And there's some other extras in there too. No, it's not just the 12 stories, and it's not just the 12 pieces of artwork. Well, if you've noticed, for every story, there's a piece of cover art. Mm-hmm. And that reveal, when they reveal the art to the authors, is just, there's tears everywhere, people. Grown men just whining like little babies. It's just, no, I mean, it's a big thing to see. And if you really enjoyed the artwork for your story, it's a good thing. Well, not everybody, I can't speak for everybody, but it's all pretty good artwork. And most of for the 4 seasons I've seen, well, the first year it was double because they had just come back from COVID. So there was a buttload of us there. And there was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of running, a lot of craziness, a lot of eating. There's just a lot going on. No, I was doing on average 5 or 6 interviews a day just to try to keep up. So was John. Everybody was it. And then everybody had their stuff going on. Everybody at classes had their stuff going on. It's a busy thing. And don't think, when Wulf said this earlier about Writers Boot Camp, it's really what it is. Because they're really condensing probably a year's worth of school into your head in a week. And there's just a lot. And there's a lot to learn. But I can tell you, everyone I've talked to, every author I've talked to, for that matter, every illustrator I've talked to that had done this, and I've talked to them after the fact, after the gala and everything, really were glad it happened to them in multiple ways. And some of these people I actually know have gotten jobs directly related to someone from Writers or Illustrators of the Future. Yes.
Well, they bring in all the best in the industry and publishers too. So you're having dinner with them, you're having lunch with them, you're listening to their presentations. Each one of them gets an hour to give a presentation to you. You talk to them out in the hallways. So things happen because you're reading them, and they read your stories. So that's the other great thing. So some of those people there actually read yours and voted for yours to be in the book. So they're actually really happy to see you. And you can have a powerful ally come out of that that's already at the top of their game, because they know what it's like to get there, and they want to help you. Since you've got that same desire they had, they want to help you to make it easier for you. So that's the pay it forward mentality.
It is. I don't know. I know we got to go in a few minutes, guys, but all I can tell you is submit. And if you don't go out and vote, I'm going to crack some knuckles. Okay, just on a side note. Oh, y'all going to hear those commercials again in a minute, but you can't win if you don't submit. And look, Wulf's right there to help you. There's other groups out there to help you. Wulf's got a better track record, especially with Writers of the Future. So you should get involved if you can. I know a lot of people ask me all the time, I want to learn how to be a writer. Well, this is a perfect opportunity. But let me rephrase this. This isn't necessarily the place to go for beginner writers, I guess is what I'm saying. Anybody can go there. I'm not telling anybody not to go. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel, being around the people I've been around and dealing with the people and winners that I have, I really feel you can go there and learn, but I think if you're going to try to win and you're not at least a certain caliber, it's just not going to happen, guys. And don't go, blood, gore, and guts is not going to get it for you, and anything sexual is just not going to get it. Don't get me wrong, there can be some innuendo in this, sorry, but it can't be. No, look, I've read a lot of your stuff, people. I'm just trying to help you out, and then maybe after you get through all of those phases, you can go see Wulf and get some advice.
Well, one thing you can do, join the Writers of Future forum. It's really easy. Go to writersoffuture.com, and then you'll see forum. Click on that, and then just join and watch for a while. Listen to people talk about writing, learn from it. Take the online workshop, because all the pros are teaching you how to write. So why not? It's free. And then go check out my Wulf Moon Super Secrets. That'll help you fine tune stuff. And if you want to go further, like we've been talking about, so I published this to help writers, Wulf Moon Super Secrets Illustrated. It's those fine tuning points that can help make your writing improve. And if you want one of these, they're $20. Email me at that email, thesupersecrets@outlook.com, and I'll get you set up so you can actually start having a program to focus on to improve your writing. And then send your story in, and you might get rejected. but they don't know who you are. So lots of writers are happy about that. There's no risk. But what if you get an honorable mention right away? I've had writers do that immediately, get an honorable mention. Well, that means your writing's already at a pretty high level because it reached the top 10% out of thousands of submissions from around the world. So what does that tell you? It tells you that you can do it. And then work your way up to a silver honorable mention. That means you were in the top maybe 80 or 50, depends on how many they give out each quarter. And that means you were in the final pile and they had to weed you out. And then maybe you'll get a semifinalist. And this is how most work their way up to their win. And then, all these are signposts about how your writing's doing. And when you get that, you get a critique from a New York Times best-selling judge that tells you, here's what you need to fix in your writing in order to win and get published, which is their objective, help you get professionally published. And then when you fix that, you hit finalists, and maybe that finalist becomes winner. There's only 8 that get that, but you work your way up, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. And those certificates you get if you enter every quarter are going to give you a gauge, are going to give you a milepost as to where your writing's at right now. And doesn't mean it's a perfect system, but it's a good idea because it's best-selling judges that are reading those stories and giving out those certificates. So you're going to have a pretty good mark of where your writing's at. And, work your way up. That's what I did. That's what most of the winners had to do. You have to apprentice before you become a master.
That's right.
And here's the way to get it. Yeah.
Don't get discouraged, people. But I know we got to get out of here because we done went into Michelle's time like an hour now, so she's probably cussing me in 4 languages.
Sorry about that.
Well, no, it doesn't. I mean, we don't overlap each other, so that doesn't really hurt anything. No. She's on. She's on. The Outer Realm's on right now. Miss Michelle DeRoche, she's station manager. Y'all can go over there, go worship at Michelle, because if you don't, she's going to hurt me. Be sure you go vote for Writers of the Future. Look, so you've got news on the flip side. You've got UFO on the cover. You've got Writers of the Future. You got the Outer Realm, podcast.com. Go take a vote. Be sure to hang in that. We're going to have 2 commercials. We're going to be out of here. No promos tonight because podcastawards.com. Again, I have all your IP addresses. So just in case we don't win this year, I'm going to make the People's Choice Nasty Virus Award. How's that? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'd never do that.
Vote for Joe and all your wildest dreams will come true.
That's right. I have special friends in orbit, so vote. No, there's none of that kind of stuff I can talk about yet. That's all stuff coming up for the future. And well, I do run the largest organization in the world, so every now and then they want to chit chat. I don't know anything, so why bother? And if I did, I'm surely not telling them. So again, why bother? Right? Look, if I had just a dime for everyone, somebody told me to write a book about that particular subject, I could have retired like 2 decades ago. And the sad part is somewhere sitting on one of my desks is a complete outline of 2 books. Complete outline, yes. I mean, it's all there. All you got to do is fill in the filler stuff. And then there's the book I'm working on right now, which is about a contact in Gulf Breeze for 11 days. So, yeah, it'll take forever to get out. But when it does, it'll be damn good reading. I'll probably turn it into a movie. Either that or I'd be like, God, this guy was a loony, crazy bastard. No, some of y'all have heard it before. We've talked about some of this online before. But anyway, we got to go, Wolf. Tell them where they can find you at again. Tell them where they can email you, whatever you want to tell them. These
all right,
lovely people.
So remember, it's Wulf, W-U-L-F, Wulf Moon. If you want to read my latest book, my latest story, it's called The Salt Marsh. It's in Game On, edited by Stephen Kotowich and Tony Pye, and also writers of Stephen Kotowich was a grand prize Writers of the Future winner. Again, you get to know people and they know you're a winner and things start to happen. So that community we talked about. But if you just go to Amazon and type in Wulf Moon, all of my books and things I'm in will come up. But this one is a professional cephalon market. So you might want to take a look at that. It's got some big names in it. And then, of course, if you go to my website, thesupersecrets@outlook.com. And you can also email me at thesupersecrets. Oh, I'm sorry. So email me at thesupersecrets@outlook.com if you want my Wulf Moon Super Secrets Illustrated Workbook. That's going to help you get along the way. And then I'm going to have this book out next month, How to Write a Howling Good Story. So those are the latest things. And let's see, thatsupersecrets.com is where you can go find more about me too.
So you got to remind me around Christmas time. We bring a lot of the authors, usually starting November 1st. We start bringing authors back on because it's Christmas time, So we start pushing to buy books. We give away a lot of books, but we sell a lot of books too. So it's this is the first time that we've ever run an advertisement to sell books. It still makes me feel weird. We've been giving away so many freaking books for so many years. I mean, I believe in literacy. I mean, I live in Louisiana, Mississippi, so trust me. When I tell you I believe in literacy, I believe in it. Because anyway, no, I love you people down here.
Want to give away the Super Secrets Illustrated Workbook? I'll send you one to give away to one of your viewers.
Okay, see, now we'll give away one this year. Y'all can get one. And but go over, stop over, check out Wulf, see what's going on. I know we get a lot of people, more and more as we do these special shows under Joe Montaldo for authors. We're getting more and more interest in this. So, learn from the people who've won. Learn from the people who have helped people win. Wulf's the guy. I'm telling y'all. You can't cheat with Wulf because there's no cheating, but this is the closest thing to a cheat you can get. If John and Emily's listening, we might be in trouble.
Then you got to work on it. But I'll tell you what, I'll be honest. I'm kind, but I'm direct. What you need to work on, because you can't win if you don't work on that thing. And I know what those things are. So if you're ready to take the counsel, I will give it to you in a nice way. But then you got to go do the work. It's always you got to go do the work. And if you don't do the work, then you can't.
Yeah, you're wasting time. Yeah. No, people, I could never be a teacher. I'd be like, I just told you that. What the hell's wrong with you? No, I could never be a teacher. I don't even like teaching my own employees.
Supersecrets.com. So I forgot if I said that or not. And
no, I don't think you did. What are you talking about? Strange New Worlds? Oh, that's for a whole nother show.
No, Star Trek Strange New Worlds 2 is where I sold to Star Trek. So
no, Gene. You're thinking of the new TV series. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, this is a book.
Yeah, no, that's what you would. With the new Captain Pike and all. Yes, it's well. This past weekend they did cartoons. It was Lower Deck on. Anyway, all I can tell you is go watch it. It's different appeal for different folks. I've heard good stuff. I've heard bad stuff. Well, about this particular episode, for the overall so far, I've heard was pretty much good press on this particular. People like the Captain Pike guy. What can I say? As long as they don't get crazy with canon, I'm all right. I'm one of those kind of people. So look, it's just one of them things. Look, we spent all these decades building it up. Why destroy it over stupid stuff? You mean Discovery? Why do you torture me? Yes, I think Discovery's fine for sci-fi. I just don't think it's Star Trek. It's my own personal opinion. Don't hate on anybody. It's my own opinion, okay? I don't think it's Star Trek. I think it's good sci-fi. If it's Star Trek, Star Trek went awry. There you go.
That's the book. Star Trek Strange New Worlds 2.
Y'all should get that copy too. Y'all should go get all that stuff. I'll tell you, Wolf's going to write this new movie, and y'all going to be wishing you bought everything he did so you can have him sign it next time you see him on the road. And that's the thing about this, guys. When you're talking to these illustrators, you're talking to these authors, you never know which one of them might be the next blockbuster movie. You just don't. There's lots of good stories here. There's going to be lots of novels that come out of these people, novellas, whatever they call them. They made me learn more terms than I ever wanted to learn. Stop it. Anyway, you just never know which one it's going to be. And I'm telling you, it's going to be some of them for sure, especially these days when we're consuming media at a rate that's just unheard of. Well, think of it this way. When all of this comes back from all these strikes going on, there's going to be a need for a lot of media. I mean, a lot. If you got a story, you might be looking at Hollywood's going to be looking for everything they get their fingers on. Because you have to remember, it's not just ABC, NBC, CBS anymore. It's everywhere. I mean, you've got what? You've got all the channels on Roku now. So you've got Prime, you've got Hulu, you've got Netflix, and it goes on and on and on. And people,
fresh content, Joe. That's what makes people come to the program. Fresh content. And
that is true. We will probably be on Apple TV later this year. Yeah, not yet, but probably not for another 2-3 months. But we'll be on Apple TV. We're on Roku now, and it'll be Roku and Apple, and eventually it'll be Prime.
Awesome.
Well, yeah. So that way you can just find us and watch us. I don't know why y'all want to watch us. I still don't understand that, but okay, it's there for the people who want to watch. Yes. For what? Wait, what? Oh no, I charge big money for that. Wolf and I are going to want like 99.95 a minute for that kind of behavior. Anyway, we got to go, guys. Thanks again, Wolf, for hanging out with us. Everybody, thanks for coming in and checking out the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Remember, Friday night, I'm with Jeff Weiner. We will be talking about AI. We'll be doing a little news, and then we'll be talking about, well, first we're going to talk about AI and publishing, and then we're going to probably talk about AI and other areas. Wolf, if you want to stop by, let me know. Just hit me over a text, and I'll invite you. It's an open conversation, guys. He works in the field, just like Jeff works in the field. These are all people who this could directly affect. I'm not anti-AI. I just don't want to put my friends out of business. That's all. I'm just, it's just one of those things. And somehow along the line, we'll like we've done for a million years, we'll strike some weird happy balance in our way things work. And because not everything I want to read or listen to or watch, I want AI generated. I'm just gonna say it outright.
Or we'll have Terminator. Either way, we're set for life.
That's right. There we go. Anyway, we got to go. Y'all behave. Be sure y'all hanging out with Michelle and him. I'll see everybody Friday night. Until then, have some fun, stay out of trouble, and hug your children. Yes, there you go. I'll see